Shishimara Divine Grace, founder of Iskana Bhai Charanadavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Grantaraj Shrimadbhagavatam Ki Their most merciful Lordship Shishiyara Kunja Bihari Ki Jai Shittigana Shibalade Mahisabhadra Ki Jai Shinataji Shibala Gopal Ki Jai Shishigornitai Ki Jai Nitai Gokri. All glories to the assembled. All glories to the assembled. All glories to the assembled. All glories to the Lord's feet of Shiguru and Shigoranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tojayamudire Nasta Praisha Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhagavati Naishtaki. Reading from Shrimadbhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 11, Text 16 and 17. Nisamya Preshtham Ayantam Nisamya Preshtham Ayantam Vasudeva Mahamana Vasudevo Mahamana Akruras Chokrasinas Cha Akruras Chokrasinas Cha Ramas Chadbhuta Vikrama Ramas Chadbhuta Vikrama Pradumnas Charudeshnas Cha Pradumnas Charudeshnas Cha Sambho Jambavati Sutta Sambho Jambavati Sutta Praharsa Vegocha Sita Praharsha Vegocha Sita Sayanasana Bhojana Sayanasana Bhojana Nisamya Prestamayantam Nisamya Prestamayantam Vasudevo Mahamana Vasudevo Mahamana Akrurascha Grasenascha Akrurascha Grasenascha Brahmaschadbhuta Vikrama Brahmaschadbhuta Vikrama Pradyumnas Charudeshnascha Pradyumnas Charudeshnascha Sambho Jambavati Sutta Sambho Jambavati Sutta Praharsha Vegochasita Praharshas Vegochasita Sayanasana Bhojana Sayanasana Bhojana Nisamya Prestamayantam Vasudevo Mahamana Akrurascha Grasenascha Brahmaschadbhuta Vikrama Pradyumnas Chakaretnascha Sambho Jambavati Sutta Praharsa Vegochasita Sayanasana Bhojana Nisamya Prestamayantam Vasudevo Mahamana Akrurascha Grasenascha Brahmaschadbhuta Vikrama Pradumnascha Rudeshnascha Sambo Jambati Sutta Praharsha Vego Chasita Sayana Sanabhojana Nisamya, just hearing. Praise Tam, the dearmost. Ayantam, coming home. Vasudeva, Vasudeva, the father of Krishna. Mahamana, the magnanimous. Akrura, Akrura, Cha, and Ugrasena, Ugrasena, Cha, and Rama, Balaram, the elder brother of Krishna. Cha, and Adbhuta, superhuman. Vikrama, prowess. Pradumna, Pradumna. Charudeshna, Charudeshna. Cha, and Samba, Samba. Jambavati Sutta, the son of Jambavati. Praharsha, extreme happiness. Vega, force. Uchasita, being influenced by. Shayana, lying down. Ashana, sitting on. Bhojana, dining. Nisamya prayastamaya ayantam vasudevo mahamanaha akurascha grasenascha ramascha dutavik rama pradumnascha rudesnascha sambojam bhavati sutta praharsha vegachosita sayana santubhajana. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanadavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. On hearing that the most dear Krishna was approaching Dwarkadam, magnanimous Vasudeva, Akrura, Ugrasena, Balaram, superhumanly powerful, Pradumna, Charudeshna, and Samba, the son of Jambavati, all extremely happy, abandoned resting, sitting, and dining. Please repeat. On hearing the most dear Krishna was approaching Dwarkadam, magnanimous Vasudeva, Akrura, Ugrasena, Balaram, the superhumanly powerful, Pradumna, Charudeshna, and Samba, the son of Jambavati, all extremely happy, abandoned resting, sitting and dining. On hearing that the most dear Krishna was approaching Dwarkadam, magnanimous Vasudeva, Akrura, Ugrasena, Balaram, superhumanly powerful, Pradumna, Charudeshna, and Samba, the son of Jambavati, all extremely happy, abandoned resting, sitting, and dining. Purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanadavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Vasudeva, son of the king Surasena, husband of Devaki and father of Lord Sri Krishna. He is the brother of Kunti and father of Subhadra. Subhadra was married with her cousin Arjuna, and this system is still prevalent in some parts of India. Vasudeva was appointed minister of Ugrasena, and later on he married 8 daughters of Ugrasena's brother Devaki. Devaki is only one of them. Kamsa was his brother-in-law, and Vasudeva accepted voluntary imprisonment by Kamsa on mutual agreement to deliver the eighth son of Devaki. This was foiled by the will of Krishna. As maternal uncle of the Pandavas, he took active parts in the purificatory process of the Pandavas. He sent for the priest Kasyapa at Satasringa Parvata, and he executed the functions. When Krishna appeared within the bars of Kamsa's prison house, he was transferred by Vasudeva to the house of Nanda Maharaj, the foster father of Krishna, at Gokula. Krishna disappeared along with Baladeva prior to the disappearance of Vasudeva, and Arjuna, Vasudeva's nephew, undertook the charge of the funeral ceremony, also Vasudeva's disappearance. Akrura, the commander-in-chief of the Vrishni dynasty, and a great devotee of Lord Krishna. Akrura attained success in devotional service to the Lord by the one single process of offering prayers. He was the husband of Sutani, daughter of Ahuka. He supported Arjuna when Arjuna took Subhadra forcibly away by the will of Krishna. Both Krishna and Akrura went to see Arjuna after his successful kidnapping of Subhadra. Jai Shri Radha Kundi, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, and Subhadra, Jai Shri. Both Krishna and Akrura went to see Arjuna after his successful kidnapping of Subhadra. Both of them presented dowries to Arjuna after this incident. Akrura was present also when Abhimanyu, the son of Subhadra, was married with Uttara, mother of Maharaj Parikshit. Ahuka, the father-in-law of Akrura, was not on good terms with Akrura, but both of them were devotees of the Lord. Ugrasen, one of the powerful kings of the Vrishni dynasty, and cousin of Maharaj Kuntibodha. His other name is Ahuka. His minister was Vasudeva, and his son was the powerful Kamsa. This Kamsa imprisoned his father and became the king of Mathura. By the grace of Lord Krishna and his brother, Lord Baladeva, Kamsa was killed, and Ugrasen was reinstalled on the throne. When Salva attacked the city of Dwarka, Ugrasen fought very valiantly and repulsed the enemy. Ugrasen inquired from Narji about the divinity of Lord Krishna. When the Yadu dynasty was to be vanquished, Ugrasen was entrusted with the iron lump produced from the womb of Samba. He cut the iron lump into pieces and then pasted it and mixed it up with the seawater on the coast of Dwarka. After this, he ordered complete prohibition within the city of Dwarka and the kingdom. He got salvation after his death. Baladev, he is the divine son of Vasudeva by his wife Rohini. He's also known as Rohini Nandana, the beloved son of Rohini. He was also entrusted to Nanda Maharaj along with his mother Rohini when Vasudeva embraced imprisonment by mutual agreement with Kamsa. So Nanda Maharaj is also the foster father of Baladeva, along with Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna and Lord Baladeva were constant companions from their very childhood. Although they were stepbrothers, he is the plenary manifestation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he is as good and powerful as Lord Krishna. He belongs to the Vishnu Tattva, the principle of Godhead. He attended the Swayamvar ceremony of Draupadi along with Sri Krishna. When Subhadra was kidnapped by Arjuna, by the organized plan of Sri Krishna, Baladev was very angry with Arjuna and wanted to kill him at once. Sri Krishna, for the sake of his dear friend, fell at the feet of Lord Baladev and implored him not to be so angry. Sri Baladev was thus satisfied. Similarly, he was once very angry with the Kauravas, and he wanted to throw their whole city into the depths of the Yamuna. But the Kauravas satisfied him by surrendering unto his divine lotus feet. He was actually the seventh son of Devaki prior to the birth of Lord Krishna. But by the will of the Lord, he was transferred to the womb of Rohini to escape the wrath of Kamsa. The other name is therefore Shankarshan, who is also the plenary portion of Sri Baladev. Because he is as powerful as Lord Krishna and can bestow spiritual power to the devotees, he is therefore known as Baladev. In the Vedas also it is enjoined that no one can know the Supreme Lord without being favored by Baladev. Bala means spiritual strength, not physical. Some less intelligent persons interpret Bala as the meaning as strength of the body, but no one can have spiritual realization by physical strength. Physical strength ends with the end of the physical body, but spiritual strength follows the spirit soul to the next transmigration. And therefore, the strength obtained by Baladev is never wasted. The strength is eternal, and thus Baladev is the original spiritual master of all devotees. Sri Baladev was also a class friend of Lord Sri Krishna as a student of Sandipani Muni. In his childhood, he killed many asuras along with Sri Krishna, and specifically he killed the Dhanukashur at Talavan. During the Kurukshetra battle, he remained neutral, and he tried his best not to bring about the fight. He was in favor of Duryodhana, but still, he remained neutral. When there was a club fight between Duryodhana and Bhimashane, he was present on the spot. He was angry at Bhimashane when the latter struck Duryodhana on the thigh, or below the belt. And he wanted to retaliate the unfair action. Lord Sri Krishna saved Bhima from his wrath, but he left the place at once, being disgusted at Bhimashane. And after his departure, Duryodhana fell to the ground to meet his death. The funeral ceremony of Abhimanyu, the son of Arjuna, was performed by him. As he was the maternal uncle, it was impossible to be performed by any one of the Pandavas, who were all overwhelmed with grief. At the last stage, he departed from this world by producing a great white snake from his mouth, and thus he was carried by Sheshanag in the shape of a serpent. Pradumna, incarnation of Kamadev, or, according to others, incarnation of Sanat Kumara, born as the son of the personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, and Lakshmi Devi, Srimati Rukmini, the principal queen at Dwarka. He was one of those who used to congratulate Arjuna upon his marrying Subhadra. He was one of the great generals who fought with Salva, and while fighting with him, he became unconscious on the battlefield. His charioteer brought him back to the camp from the battlefield, and for this action he was very sorry and rebuked his charioteer. However, he fought again with Salva and was victorious. He heard all about the different demigods from Narad. He's one of the 4 plenary expansions of Lord Sri Krishna. He is the third one. He inquired from his father, Sri Krishna, about the glories of the Brahmins. During the fratricidal war among the descendants of Yadu, he died at the hand of Bhoja, another king of the Vrishnis. After his death, he was installed in his original position. Charudesna, another son of Lord Sri Krishna and Rukmini Devi. He was also present during the Swayamvar ceremony of Draupadi. He was a brave warrior like his brothers and father. He fought with Vivindaka and killed him in the fight. Samba, one of the great heroes of the Yadu dynasty and the son of Lord Sri Krishna by his wife Jambabai. He learned the military art of throwing arrows from Arjuna. And he became a member of parliament during the time of Maharaj Yudhisthira. He was present during the Rajasuya Yajna of Maharaj Yudhisthira. When all the Vrishnis were assembled during the time of Prabhas Yajna, his glorious activities were narrated by Satyaki before Lord Baladev. He was also present along with his father, Lord Sri Krishna, during the Ashwamedha Yajna performed by Yudhisthira. He was presented before some rishis falsely dressed as a pregnant woman by his brothers, and in fun, he asked the rishis what he was going to deliver. The rishis replied that he would deliver a lump of iron, which would be the cause of fratricidal war in the family of Yadu. The next day in the morning, Samba delivered the large lump of iron, which was entrusted with Ugrasena for necessary action. Actually, later on, there was the foretold fratricidal war, and Samba died in that war. So all these sons of Lord Krishna left their respective palaces, leaving aside all engagements, including lying down, sitting, and dining, hastened toward their exalted father. Om Jnana Timarandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshusumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So much is being brought out here on the glorious nature of each of these participants in greeting of Krishna in his return to Dwarka. Wow, every one of them is so glorious. Arjuna's son, Krishna, his name's son, Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu was so glorious in the battle at the age of 16 years old. He had heard, I believe it was in the womb of his mother, he had heard the mantra required to break the phalanx, but he did not receive the mantra to be able to get out. But at just 16 years old, as the son of Arjuna, he was more virtuous than all of them. He was, with his arrows and his expertise, he was breaking the arrows of all of them, all of the warriors. They were really afraid. They had to break their own laws of battle to be able to overcome him. And he was Arjuna's son. Now, we can see here that when Arjuna kidnapped Subhadra by advice of Krishna, so there was a little bit of distance between Lord Balaram and Arjuna because of that. So there is there is revealed here that this act of kidnapping was a common thing. So marriages were determined in many cases by arrangement of the parents. And so the two who were going to be wed, in some cases, had never seen each other before. And it was determined by their astrological influences that they were born into, who would be compatible with them like that. But due to the fact that some people were being put with people that weren't exactly compatible with each other's ways of thinking, there was kidnapping going on, and it was authorized by Krishna. And Krishna told Arjuna to kidnap Subhadra. So, the same way, our society, the way it's set up, is not functioning the same way Vedic society functions. And Srila Prabhupada put into place the function of Brahmins in the temple, and he set up a society so that the missing aspects of society, the Brahminical class, could be restored. But in the last days he spent here, he advised the devotees now that he has given the instructions sufficient to bring Brahminical culture back into the world in a great way. There was a remaining work of fulfilling the needs for Varnashram to be introduced into the society as a whole. And that is that connection that all of society has with one another to the fulfilling of the purpose they all share together with one another, ultimately to serve the Supreme Person, the original person. And what I am coming to believe is possibly going to be a very powerful aspect of this application of Krishna consciousness to most of our congregational members will be that because we see the way fruit of workers are dealing with every aspect of society, every profession, they are dealing with it in a way many times contradictory to common sense, many times against the very teachings of Krishna or the laws of God. So we all need food to exist. And as in many cases family members who are coming as devotees to the temple are finding in their hearts to supply the temple with donations, and sometimes that means going to the grocery store and buying groceries. We're buying groceries from people who are not themselves working for the purpose of pleasing Krishna. So what they are producing is of an inferior nature to that produced by a devotee whose intent of his purpose in life, whose intent of the actions of his deeds is to satisfy Krishna. Then it doesn't take much. One tomato plant can produce 20, 30, 40 tomatoes, sometimes more. One eggplant can produce 10, 15, 20 eggplants. So by the planting of one seed, a devotee can bring a donation to the temple. One eggplant, if you've ever looked and cut and opened an eggplant, inside that eggplant are probably hundreds of eggplant seeds, right? Each and every one of them containing a soul. Now, the farmer who is in full knowledge of this has care for the fact that each and every one of those living entities are now going to get the opportunity to become liberated from this cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. So a devotee in his heart of hearts, wanting to fulfill the will of Krishna, realizes the inferior way that those foodstuffs are being prepared in the marketplaces for themselves. They're not preparing these, they're not growing these, they're not planting these seeds, they're not harvesting these seeds with the intent of pleasing Krishna. And so it's contaminated. Everything they put their hands on by greed, lust, desire, contaminates. Man, this is how man is contaminating everything. And everything is working that is being used for the furtherance of man's own false ego is being used to the downfall of man's spiritual advancement. So if we, as individual devotees in our own homes, maybe we don't have a lot of land or anything, but even with just one grow light, you can grow one plant and end up providing food that can go on hundreds of plates. Plant one eggplant seed. So then, Krishna, by revealing to us the inhumane way the present society is creating for itself a means of self-sufficiency, it is doing so in such a way that nothing is being done to the benefit of humankind. They are believing themselves by this desire to make everything easy, by the manufacture of all these machines. Looking at the most economical way ends up being what they would conceive of in their minds as the most profitable, right? The most profitable way they have concluded is that creating fertilizers made from petroleum products is beneficial to make the plants grow faster. We know from the application of Krishna consciousness that the form the plants are taking for the nutrition of human beings have within them everything necessary for life. But in the way that the energy is being manipulated, human beings are finding themselves at the end of their lives succumbing to cancer, pancreatic diseases, liver failures, all these problems. And a lot of it due to the fact that we are trying to manipulate the food supply in ways that it wasn't meant to be manipulated. And with our lack, as a society, I say with our, it's not mine or yours who are attending these classes, but with society as a whole, with their lack of knowing the application of our ashram system to the society and having no appreciation whatsoever for the life that comes from the cow. It may be looked at by Western society as foolish to think of the cow as a sacred animal. But everything that comes out of the cow's body is of a medicinal nature. and is of a beneficial nature for the continuance of humankind. It is the process of digestion in the cow's body that enables those cows to take chlorophyll in its purest form right from the grass and create with it a food. Milk, when it's mated to produce food and nourishment for the physical body, but the stool that comes out of the cow is in the closest form of energy possible to provide with that chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is so close to human blood, it can be used in place of, when necessary, infusions of blood. When people need blood, they can use chlorophyll, and they can also use coconut oil. But this knowledge is being kept from the medical society at large because of the desire for the profits from involving themselves in the collecting of blood from other human beings. This is not even being looked at from a realistic point of view. If I take your blood into my body, that's cannibalistic. It's cannibalistic. We have to know what in the world we are doing with so-called medicine. Is not medicine at all. And all this research and so-called testing of human beings with these so-called medicines are not doing a thing. How many years do we have to go on facing the truth about the fact that none of these medicines are curing the disease? Otherwise, the disease would be no longer present on the planet. We are causing complications in our health by not applying basic principles of God to our food supply and replacing God's way of doing things with our own concocted ideas as is the cause of all the sickness human beings are going through now. And it's all based on the lust we have for wealth. We're not creating medicines to heal people. We're creating medicines for them to have to depend on us for medicines. That's not medicine. That's not health. That's not doctors. That's business people trying to get wealthy off the sickness of the general populace. That's insanity. That's what it is. It's insanity. And we're all going along with it, taking prescriptions from doctors who don't know what medicine is.
No, it's to the point now that go ask your doctor if you need this medication.
Yeah.
And every ad on television, every third ad is for a medication. Ask your doctor about Tumefil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they're not themselves intelligent enough to be able to see that the application of their own processes is not a benefit for the people. They get worse off the cures. When something has more side effects than the problem you're going to cure, you use your common sense to realize something's wrong here with the system we're considering to be the most advanced system in all civilization's existence. This is insanity. We're considering insanity to be normal. We're making insane processes of society to be normalcy. And this is ridiculous. We have to realign the assessments in our mind of what is right and what is wrong and what is good and what is valuable to the preservation of human life. We have enough weaponry now to destroy the whole population of the human race. Why? Why? Big question we should be asking. So the wheels, it says, of time continue to turn. But whether man is making progress in his efforts, if he's not aiming at the right target, if we don't have pleasing God in our mind as a common goal, we will never know what love is. We will never know what security is. We will never know what true well-being, wealth is well-being of the soul and its relationship with God, who owns everything. When we have that relationship established as commonplace amongst all human beings, then we can live in harmony with one another and respect one another for the fact that we are sharing life with the supreme, most divine power and consciousness of the original person. And as such, just like a father, when his children are gone, a part of him goes with them, thinking in his mind. His thoughts are with them. Krishna's thoughts with us, having left, is taking the form of Supersoul. It's Krishna's love for us. When we left home, Krishna's thoughts to care and love and guide us and be there with us in case we're going to fall into difficulties is manifesting with us as Supersoul. This is God's love. Supersoul in us, with us, sharing every moment we have to live, and revealing to us through the process he's giving to us that this can be a continuous process is going on in every moment of every day and increasing in its experience of satisfaction, of fulfillment, of protection, of caring that goes out to others. This is what Krishna wants us to be able to know what his love is so that we can give it to others. And it is of the nature that the more you give, the more you get. So we have such a great opportunity in human form to be able to take very little things, like a mustard seed. How small is a mustard seed? And yet, contained within that is such a miraculous treasure house of life that manifests itself as a form that is beneficial to every living entity that will take advantage of what the plant produces. And if that is used in service of the original person, then that mustard seed gets benefit to the extent that it is on the path to the eternal dwelling. But if we use it and let it be used to the end of those who have no more desire than to get some benefit from it economically, people plant. Why do they plant orchards? To make money off of it. They have no consideration whatsoever of the fact that they are bringing souls into this world. Those seeds that are inside the apple tree that's in the orchard. Every one a soul. So even harvesting the seeds of the earth is also a form of procreation. Farmers in society now, you look among the general populace, and ask them about farming as far as its level of contribution to the world, most people put farming down in a low place on the scale of its value to life. They want something that pays money. They look at a job as an executive sitting behind a desk and writing notes and telling this guy to do that and that. But what does those executive commands have to do with the continuance of human life? What is more basic than food itself for the continuance of life? So this aspect of society that we look at as maybe lower on the scale of the rung of things that we would consider in our life as being something we would like to dedicate our career to. Yet in the end of life, those souls that are involved in the production of foods, all this is an endeavor towards the furtherance and the benefit of human society. Physically. And it can only be of benefit spiritually if those activities, those engaged in those activities will direct that energy towards the Supreme Source from whom all these things are coming, from whom it belongs to anyway. It already belongs to Krishna. And the very means of these things being able to manifest in this way, in the spiritual world, things aren't brought forth in the same way as they are here. There's no process of intercourse there that causes children to come into existence. So I'm sure the whole planting process is of a different nature as well. Souls aren't coming there to be liberated. It is the place of liberation. But when analyzed in this way, a farmer who is responsible then, how many seeds? These farmers are planting millions of seeds, and each and every one of those seeds producing an unlimited amount of life force when those seeds have seeds and those seeds have seeds and the seeds have them. So how many billions of souls these farmers are put in the position of being able to give liberation to? Think about it.
My stepfather in Mississippi had 500-acre fields of cotton, of soy, of 500 acres of them.
So this profession,
another 600 acres of cattle.
This profession, see, even if we look at a profession from an economical perspective as having the most beneficial result in the end for mankind, then if you take numbers and the value of a soul, life itself, if the seed itself is potentially a human, no matter what form it's taking now, if there is a process we can engage in to help that seed along to the place where we have found ourselves now, that mustard seed can get to where we are. That frog, if that frog eats prasadam, he's on his way back to where we are.
Yeah.
So all these classes of levels of classes that society has forced us, in a sense, because we're living in it, to look at one another as, is totally misconstrued. We've got our values all upside down. And so what we have envisioned in our mind as luxury, what we have envisioned in our mind as comfort, what we have envisioned in our mind as liberating, if we are allowing ourselves to be conditioned and mesmerized and hypnotized by the definitions given by those who are not self-realized, then we will have to suffer the same conclusions that they have come to. Most people believe that this life is the one and only, and so we should just enjoy as much as we can, get as much enjoyment out of this physical flesh, mucus, pus, and blood. We need to enjoy as much as we possibly can. But see, the senses of the body, when analyzed like that, you come to realize, well, what am I getting out of this mucus, pus, and blood? It's amazing that it has been made in such a way for us to believe that the taste buds, for example, at the moment we're experiencing the taste, we're thinking it to be the greatest thing we've ever had in some cases and sometimes, right? But all of this stuff is only tasting what can be experienced that has been exposed to death, the realm that exists within this material sphere that we are dwelling in. What can be tasted by the soul by chanting and realizing with the mind. The mind is being used to experience what we are exposing ourselves to, right, as souls, whether we expose ourselves to the taste of food, the smell of this thing, the smell of that thing. But with the chanting, then, the mind can be opened up to other available forms of consciousness. It is consciousness that we're experiencing, affected by the things in this world that are having contact with the physical senses we have, right? That we're, it's in the air, the cinnamon is in the air, the spearmint is in the air. So then when it gets into the navel passages, these are openings, gates, as it is, that the city of the body is having exposure to the world. But the soul is not limited to that by chanting and conceiving of and having communion with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are scents that can be experienced apart from this world. There are realizations about relationships with Krishna that can be experienced with Krishna that cannot be experienced with anyone else in this world. And so that's reserved. Krishna reserves that. In the statement he says he has put all of his spiritual potencies into these names. So that includes the revealing of knowledge. That's a potency of Krishna giving us and realization. And what we are aiming for in all of these desires that we go out into the world for is a state of mind, a state of consciousness, a state of happiness, of being protected, isn't it? You go to sign up a contract with an insurance agent so that you won't, if your house burns down, you won't be left crying in tears because now you think you have nothing. We have just as much when we came in as when we leave physically. But if we develop spiritually, they say you can't take it with you. But Srila Prabhupada's pointing out in these purports that what we do spiritually here, we will bring with us. We will bring it with us. And so the greatest thing we can bring, and that will bring us, is this longing for Krishna that we're seeing brought out in this verse by the people who had those intimate relationships with him. Friends, family, relatives, cousins, brothers. And he's making that available to us now. And the easiest way to experience that is with this chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. See, with everybody chanting and realizing that things need to be done in the right way, but then opening themselves up to the consciousness that can be made available through spiritual awareness, then everything can be changed and made to be done right in the world. And each of us going out and making people aware of that, then our futures can be looking forward. We can be looking forward to futures with great hope and great light. A fulfillment of Krishna's desire for us. Any comments, any questions, any realization? Anybody like to share? Jai. Grantaraj Shrimadbhagavatam, Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada, Ki Jai.
Thank you so much.
Jai Krishna.